I think an issue that boggles me is the fact that you think a woman's advancement is synonymous to hatred to a man. How is me wanting my life to be better immediately equal to me hating a man? Wanting better for myself means that I hate a man. If you could just flip the script, does that mean you hate women?
That's what she said.
Hello everyone, welcome to That's What She Said. And today we're going to be talking about glass ceilings and boardroom and what corporate leadership looks like for women in Nigeria. Currently, I would say 64% of the corporate workforce is made up of women, but only 30% of those women hold position in senior leadership. Mind blown. Anyways, I feel like we're about to have a fire conversation because why is this conversation important to women in the corporate space? Why do we need to know what this glass ceiling is, how to shatter it, most importantly, how to navigate the boardroom battles? Why is this important? It's important because I have firecrackers with me on the pod who are entering into leadership, and we need to know, how do we navigate this space? How do we make it ours? How do we own it? How do we dominate? How do we collaborate? I have with me Temitope. Introduce yourself, my darling.
Okay, hi, my name is Temitope Taiwo. I'm a project manager and I do have a fashion brand called Arik Fashion.
Hi, my name is Chidera Deborah. I'm a student and an entrepreneur. Modest beaded bags.
I love that. And I'm Chidera Muoka. I'm a transmedia storytelling strategist, but today I'm your co-host and that's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. All right, ladies, let's get into it, right? Exactly. Talk where you're a project manager. I feel like I want to give you big ups because why would you want to just be managing people? Why would you be managing people? But I think you will have a more unique perspective to what this looks like, especially because I'm sure there are men on your team. You have to interact with, different people.
So,
How does that look like for you? What does leadership look like for you?
okay, so for me, my career is even like basically a leadership position. I have to manage projects from start to finish. And I also work in tech. It's quite male dominated. And I've had to, tell a lot of men what to do because they are working on projects I'm managing.
That they don't like.
And I've experienced how leadership is for a woman. I would say, especially in tech, because that's where I work. And I've had to navigate a lot of challenges of, having people men tell me that I can't tell them what to do. I shouldn't be speaking to them that way. And I've also had men, seeing me as a woman and not as a project manager in the company. So yeah, it's a lot.
Okay. They'll feel like you're bossing them around. Who is this? Like,
who are you to tell me what to say?
Okay, but we can all agree that it comes from somewhere, right? It's the fact that the way we were raised in Nigeria, you are raised to be a homemaker.
Exactly.
Right? So as a homemaker, why are you telling me that bag is 20K? Collect 5,000. As a homemaker, no, it's the truth because they're doing you a favor. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
As a project manager, is that how you talk to your husband at home?
I've heard that. I've actually heard that. Somebody has said that to me. Would you speak to your husband like this at home? And I'm like, you're not my husband. You're the engineer.
And I'm the boss.
You're not my husband at home.
Yeah.
I'm the project manager, you're the engineer.
So that has reinforced, certain ways people would want to interact with you, how they would want to talk with you. And unfortunately, if we're going to change this narrative, it has to start from the way we raise our girls.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I don't mean just, in a motherhood position, right? If you're a sister, it's how you help your younger sister, how you raise her, how you show her what's possible.
In fact, they're looking up to you.
Yes.
So
Yes, you're a role model in that, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do that for her. You have to do that for your cousin. You have to do that for anybody that's like
Your friends, people around you.
Exactly. You always have to be like, girl, this is what you can do. Don't let nobody tell you different.
But one thing that I noticed while I was in uni is that, for example, my course was even very male dominated. So I studied computer science and I figured that most of the courses that seem like, they're a bit hard, they were filled with boys. And then, the courses that they're not necessarily simple, but the courses that look like they're simple to the world, like for example, mass comm. Like I had a friend in mass comm that they had only 2 boys, and I'm in computer science, and I think the girls they were like 20 and we're like over 100. So that already shows that. I'm just saying that shows that in an average Nigerian home, they are pushing the boys to do things that they believe is hard. And when you raise children like that, it kind of gives a notion that the hard things, for example, leadership, can be done by boys.
So I have a friend that studies architecture. So she's always posting on her status that everybody is taking that is a boys' job. Engineering is for boys. And they even made a TikTok meme like that. They were like, when you see engineering girls, you start seeing muscles. Like they were just putting like muscles. And she was like, this is not true. Why would you just put it? When I was in secondary school, there was this women in engineering. They came, they were like, don't rate yourself. You can't do engineering. They are looking for girls that are ready to do engineering. It's not for men.
She's not lying.
Exactly. Like what you
Somebody needs to send me that TikTok.
exactly. They will be like, nah, it's men. No, it's for men.
Somebody needs to send me that TikTok. But no, those reinforcements, it just makes you feel like, oh, I can't do this. I can't get to this place. This place is just for this person. This is how they're supposed to go. And it's sad. For lack of a better word, it is truly sad, because how am I supposed to navigate a world if you're telling me, oh, you're supposed to do mass comm? If you can't do mass comm, it's easy. No, because it's not easy, right? And I think I'm really grateful to my mom. For a while, I used to be like really good at science, and I used to be really good at art. But my problem was math. Even till today. One teacher told me 2 plus 2, and I did not get it in primary 1. And since that day, I vowed, see me and this maths, nothing. Because, this thing you're asking me, I can still get it from calculator. So why am I going to stress myself? So I was doing science and art in school up until my WAEC. Okay. Unfortunately, my mom was not there when I was registering for WAEC, so I only registered for arts. But one of the things I would say I'm really grateful to my mom for was the fact that she would always be like, can you do it? Even when I used to run track in school, I'll run with like older people, and all she would ask me is, can you do it?
We need people like your mom.
We do.
Exactly. Like,
can you do it?
As an average Nigerian mom,
I entered into the university at 14. Was, can you do it? I say, yes, okay. Case closed.
wow.
Going to NYC, barely 18, in another state. Can you do it? Yes, Charlie, go on. Like, there was never a situation where my mindset, and I think that's one of the things that's from my mindset as an individual, where I feel like I cannot do it. If I reason it, I go rugged them.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
You're bringing.
I will rugged it, because there's possibility. There is no reinforcement from that's a hard subject for women, or women that are in this career only look like this or only look like that. That's not how she raised me.
And I feel like it's actually very good that you were raised that way, because if we're being honest, in Nigeria, your mom is like 1 out of 10.
Exactly.
To be honest, an average Nigerian mom would even be the one to tell, like, your daughter now, she wants to run, like you said, you used to want to run or something. She'll tell you, a girl, what, you're supposed to be prim and proper. Why are you running? It's boys that are meant to be running. You're not supposed to be doing this. For example, football. As a girl, you shouldn't be doing that. So an average Nigerian mom would kind of train you to be prim and proper, and then, as usual, prepare you for marriage. And that's all kitchen.
Hell, it's not entering to marriage or kitchen, because like if we start doing that, it just makes me feel very sad, because we only have like 10% of women who are in board roles in Nigeria, assistants, right? Yes, who are let me get the data right. 10% of major Nigerian CEOs are women, and roughly 12% of board seats right now. I want you to think about it. There's a company everywhere that you go to right now. Only 10%.
That's crazy.
There are companies coming up every time in this country. Like, if you want to leave the island, let's use that. How many companies do you see on your way leaving the island?
A lot. A whole lot.
Right? You are in Ikeja. How many manufacturing companies or bottling companies do you see in a certain space? And what you're telling me that stats is that only 10% of major Nigerian CEOs
are women.
And only 12% sit on boards that say, hey, this is what happened. Yeah. I remember something. Guys, the other day, I was lamenting. why don't we have period leaves? I feel like if there was a woman on the board of certain companies, I would have period leaves. Not 1 day period leave, but like 2 days. Let me sort myself out.
Exactly, like everything at home. You're like you're
You
carrying
could
all
be
things at home.
because
and-
literally there are people who have like the most excruciating times while they're on their period, and they will have to be at the office delivering at 100%. Or the fact that most people don't even get maternal leave to be able to bond fully with their kids.
Exactly.
If we had women in places of leadership, the stories will change of how women operate in the corporate system, because the way you would operate in the corporate system is much more unique from how you would have operated as a single girl,
Yes.
as someone who just got married, right? As someone who just gave birth to a child. You would navigate it differently. Only a woman can understand how that path looks like for you. I don't want to say that I can assume what a man's path would look like, but I think it's pretty linear. Go to work, come back, go to work, come back, go to work.
I think that's also one of the things that they used to justify men being in leadership positions more. They say that, we women, we have so many things to deal with, like, giving birth, like periods and all of that. And I also feel like it's just a way of them not wanting to include women in, organizations. Because, if we have, normally in the world, we have men and women, every single thing in this life should also be tailored to men and women. So it shouldn't be that organizations align more with how a man's life is and not like how a woman's life
I don't even trying to say that. So the duty of a woman is only the duty of a woman to take care of that child. What of the man? He has a role to play in that child's life, but the other thing that is the woman that has the child. And you know
Let
what
that
take care of it.
does. It is a generation of people who don't have fathers. They have sperm donors.
Very true.
You don't have fathers. You don't have that fatherly love. You don't have that person. See,
That connection, that bond.
there's a certain way as a woman we show up in the world when you know there is a feminine and masculine energy that is behind you. Do you understand? There's a way you show up in the world. There's a way a dad, like, there's certain things that I see on TikTok, right? Where men are saying, I'm buying my daughter this, I'm doing this. So your nonsense son will not come and tell her XYZ. There's a need for that in terms of protection. It also shapes the way we view the world and the way we step into it. But talking about women being passed over for like promotions, this brings me to a very, very, very important part of the conversation, right? Because there are all of these things that have been labeled to the female species as to why we can't do this, we can't get here, we can't be here, we can't do that. I want to know what sort of experiences you've had. Now, I'll start with myself. I've always been in a position of leadership.
Okay.
What that meant for me was that I've had to grow in leadership. I didn't have like a mentor. I didn't have someone holding my hand. But by virtue of being maybe like 21 or 22 in a leadership position, I had to learn what leadership looked like on the job while navigating the different nuance of being a woman in leadership. And one of the things that have been constant from me being who I am is that I'm aggressive. I've had people just there. She's very aggressive. I'm aggressive because I know what I want.
It's even better. Because
I'm aggressive because I'm assertive. Like if we juxtapose that with a man telling you what to do,
Yeah.
I would see zero resistance.
exactly.
Zero resistance. I've had situations where I'm there, there's a man who is my subordinate, and somebody is there referring to him as opposed to me. No, my darling, it happens. And it's funny to me, right? But here you want the work to get done. You then will run it at the end of the day, right? And something that I've conscious, like even now in my personal like circles and relationship, you can't call me aggressive. It upsets me. I'm assertive. I know what I want and I don't play. Somebody gave me feedback. Oh my gosh, you know what they say about you? And like, what? Like, you're cutthroat. I'm like, oh, spicy. No, not let them say. I love it. No, because the message is being passed across. I'm not playing like ability politics. I haven't come this far by being liked. Guess what? Don't even like me. Makes me. But you see that respect? We'll have it on the table. So that's what I face because, girl, from different from different people all around, helicopter, everywhere. But I want to know, what has been your experiences with like people where they just feel like because she's a woman, they have reacted that way towards you?
Okay, so for me, I'm actually a person that I take up my position. Like I don't like people like talking to me anyhow or something. So whenever I want to speak, I hold my position and I speak, and they'll be like, "Why are you doing like a man? Why are you talking like this?" And I'll be like, "What did I do? Please explain." They will not be able to explain. So like my confidence is like triggering them that someone you should buy now. Why are you doing as if no, it's a man that's supposed to be talking too much. You're talking too much, and I'll be like,
I
I'm
guess
talking
you
too
behave
much.
like man a lot of times. Doesn't help that I don't have any hair on my head either.
And if they see that you are a girl, like you're not talking with so much power, they'll just like, oh, she's not. Everybody just start talking
And
and
the way
go,
they always
leave the
cut
person
you
that
off
is
is that
talking.
you're acting like a man.
Exactly. They'll be like, no, you're talking like a boy. Go and sit down. Why are you talking like that? And I'll be like, how? Like, I'm just saying what is meant to be. If I don't put this assertiveness and confidence, you will not take me serious.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say something now, and if a man comes, you quickly comport yourself. What's the difference between me and him? So if I don't put that assertiveness, you will not take it serious. You just like, this girl, go and sit down. Your own is too much. You talk too much. You do this too much. I'm expressing myself and I'm telling you what is meant to be. And it should be.
Yeah.
Tell
For
me
me though, I would say I went into the career world very early. And very early on also I was a project manager, and that is like a leadership position. So I've had to listen to so much. I've been in a team where they were all men, and I would say something and they would, be like, what is this one saying? And at the end of the day, whatever they do would not even work, and they will use what I said. And also I've been in places where I've had comments from men like just making me feel so uncomfortable in the work environment. There was somewhere I was working. I mean, I'm not going to mention where I was working, but there was this man. We had the head of engineering coming from the UK, and I mean, he was the head of engineering, quite high at the workplace. And that time, I was a Scrum Master, project manager, and I mean, he saw me and he was like, "Oh, this is your ebony skin. If you were in the UK, I know what I would have done with you."
what would have done with me? How?
And I was like, and I mean, to be honest, I couldn't do so much because, like I said, almost head of engineering is a man, head of design is a man, head of product is a man, the MD is a man. The only person that was a woman was the head of HR. And I mean, I spoke to her, but she couldn't do anything. I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know why she couldn't do anything. Probably she could have stood up for me, but I would say, imagine, for example, the head, that's like a boardroom where I was working, and she was the only female. They were all men. So if she had, I'm guessing if she had spoken up,
May not even count.
yeah,
No,
it
not
would have been
anything.
high against them.
Exactly.
So to be honest, that was one of the reasons why I started to think that more women, for me, I started to actually have passion for more women being in the tech space, because I believe that if there were more women there, I would have actually had,
An ally.
Yeah.
Someone who
to
would have
actually-
supported you.
because I'm not going to lie, I felt small.
Hmm.
I started to feel scared of even passing through his office. And like I said, I finished uni quite early. I entered into career world very early. So going to work at that time was even something that was so hard for me, because I mean, now I'm trying to make sure that when I'm passing here, Mr. This is not here. So it doesn't say, oh, come to the office. So come on. So
Those microaggressions, right? They, people don't necessarily see it because, the men don't see it because it's normal, right? You can tell a woman do something as abrasive as that. I've been in a work environment where someone harassed me, like actually sexually harassed me because he was a man. What happened? I was working late. It was a different office. Normally, like if the water dispenser is run out in this particular office, I'll go to that other office. I went to the office. There was no other person working there. As I was leaving, I find like someone grabbed me from behind. Like I literally had to like step on him to wrestle myself out. And guess what? What did leadership say when I reported the incident the next day? Oh, that he said that he only did that because he felt he was getting some advances from me. This is someone that if I said anything to, it would have been, hello, how are you? And that's where it stopped.
So,
and
where is
honestly,
from?
workplace harassment is on the high. Like you said, it's more like a normal thing now. For me, it started from even the first place I worked, where I was doing NYC, and I had to leave. I mean, he did not leave for me. I left for him, because basically the leadership there it was me that had to go. It's not this man that will go.
Yeah.
Because it was already so high. His position was already so high that NYC, I was a copper. I couldn't finish my NYC there. I had to now, redeploy to somewhere else and do my NYC somewhere else. So the workplace harassment is on the high. And that's because, if we're being honest, there are not a lot of women in leadership positions there. It's filled with men, and they think alike. It's not
Exactly. There's no one to understand.
It's a thing of, he told you that, Ebony, if you were in the UK, they know what they would have done with you. Did he touch you?
Isn't that a compliment?
But do you know how that statement made me feel small as a person working there? I can't even be my true self to deliver properly.
And imagine you having to give a presentation with that person in the room. How do you give a presentation with that person in the room? And this is why, like, even for women to go into places of leadership, there's a lot of things that factors. I remember there are days where I've had the most traumatizing day. It would be, and I'm still having to smile, show up, because, well, what they will not say is that you're emotional.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they will not say. They will not say you're emotional. You just chop those things down, no matter how crazy those things have been. So imagine that. Imagine that the first thing that happens when you come into you wake up in the morning, right? It's probably that dad or uncle or mom who talks down on you. This job that you're going to, I don't know who's going to marry you. You have already woken up 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is when if you're going to work, who will see you to marry you? You've started from there. You enter into the bus. Conductor say, hey, shout for me, I get your time for house. No, my darling. No, my darling. No, you don't.
They always get somebody's time for house.
You don't. Not this time. Not this time. I think you have a woman at home. She's not me. Right? And then from there, you're going to the office space. And next thing, you're not dealt with a man. Ebony. Bye-bye. Ebony.
Real.
No.
If I had the chance to tell that man what I want to say to him.
And this brings me to my point. I feel like we need to speak up more.
That's the main
We
point.
need to speak up more. I've been at Obalinde Junction. Some guy rubbed up on me. Backhand is what he collected.
Sharp.
Period.
I told my brother, I said, you cannot be slapping people in places like that. I said, bro, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow.
Collect on that one.
No. And I think I think it's my adrenaline of just like, you can't be doing rubbish like that. But it was more of the audacity as a woman to do that. I've been harassed in public transport a lot of times. But it's just like, I can't do this. Now, this is someone that is being belittled, because that's what it is. You are being belittled. You're objectified every single time. And now I'm supposed to be in leadership position. Oh, Benny, how?
Yeah, I have experiences like that too, that in the bus, you're trying to touch me. Like, you're sitting at my back and you're trying to touch my buttocks. Like, are you crazy? I will not be able to, like, retaliate. But then, for a week, it's still in my mental head that, God, why did this happen? So we need audacity.
For me, in the workspace, what I do not like, what I hate the most is when you see me at work, see me as the position, what I'm doing. Don't see me as a woman. Like, most of the time, men see you at work and they see you based on your gender. You don't even see, like, you don't see me for what I'm doing, and that's how it's meant to be.
Do you know, I've had people say, so one of the reasons we like you and the way that you work is that you work like a man. You're available at XYZ time. You're able to do XYZ tasks within, no complaints, no this, no that, no that. And I'm just like, somehow this is supposed to be a compliment. I'm just hardworking. That's it. I'm just hardworking. we figure it out. So we have those sort of situations that have constantly put women in spaces where they feel so small, and it's very hard for them to even speak up. Where's your voice? You lose your voice in those spaces. If this is how you navigate the world on a day-to-day basis, you will lose your voice.
Yeah, and the reason why I know that you're right is because, like I said, when I entered into the career world, I was already getting to the stage where I was losing my voice because of my experiences. It's just now that I know that I'm getting better, but because of those things that I had to face, even, leaving where I used to work before, it was because I started to realize that I was already feeling small. I was already doubting myself, who I am, and I knew that I had to live there. So, but imagine other women that actually do not have another choice. They do not leave those spaces. You would definitely lose yourself. You'd lose your voice. You might even start to doubt the person that you are, because I was there.
and sometimes pressure from Nigerian parents. They'll be like, there's no job elsewhere. Oh. Stay there, endure, like endure this pain. Like they are not even bothered about your mental health. They're like,
Nigerians
endure.
glorify long suffering.
They do.
They'll be like that.
They glorify
You
they
will
glorify
make it
long
stronger,
suffering.
And they would quote.
They'll tell you to make it sure. Thank you.
I think
I mean, now is it?
everybody say no. I think another thing, right? So when people are quoting the Bible to you, right, you also need to know the Bible so that there's no rubbish being quoted to you that is not of it, and that's where knowledge is very important, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, one of the first things that I knew that was so profound that I told my family, or rather my parents, was, "Daddy, respect is reciprocal."
I love that scene. Eh?
He says, "Honor your father and mother because that." I say, "Go that."
The Bible says,
No. It's the next verse. Right after you know, say, "Don't provoke
Don't
your children."
provoke your children to anger.
Don't provoke me.
Just like men will tell you, the Bible says, wives should submit. To their
Exactly.
husbands.
That's what I was going to
Can
say.
you tell him about Ephesians 5:25? Can you speak to him?
Exactly.
Are you ready to love me like Christ loved the church, babes?
He died for the church.
Are you ready to sacrifice, babes?
How about that?
How about that?
Right.
Like, let's do it. Let's talk about that. And you see these gender roles, right? Because I've seen men, and this is crazy. I've seen men that would just get married because this is the next thing that will get me a promotion at the office. So I didn't heard of crazy things like that.
That's somebody to even take up the slack at home. How about that? Because once you get married, I mean, as a man, you're not expected to do anything at the beginning. There won't be somebody ironing your clothes, somebody washing your clothes,
That's true.
somebody doing everything.
Now imagine that, and I think this is something that's always popular on the Twitter space. Who is doing all of those things in a double income household?
For me though, I feel like, I mean, we are getting more liberated, and
You were. No, I don't want to know we're in the same country so that you can take me to the country that you're in.
maybe for me though, personally. so I do feel like two people that are coming together, it's about learning how to live together and help each other. Like I'm talking about two sane people, oh, not so basically 2 income households. You can always outsource. You're together to help each other. I shouldn't feel trampled upon, and you shouldn't also feel like, let's work together. That's why we're together. I mean, two are better than one. So if we're together, we're making. I want people to understand that marriage is about one person wanting to make life easier for the other person, and then the other person too wanting to make life easier for the other person.
I have a radical question.
Okay.
Would you get married to someone who, in the career space, you were higher than they were? You don't necessarily need to work in the same office, right? but and you guys, I mean, drop comments. Let me know. Would you get married to someone who was, you're here and they're here, but here's what the thing: this person is a man in every sense of the word, right?
Yeah.
This is a position that you have. Now let's do it like this.
Okay.
Will you marry someone who is here and has no love, no respect for you?
Okay. Should I go first?
I want her to go first.
Say no for me.
Which one?
Okay, you were talking about. Okay, wait. You said a man that is here.
Yes.
Then me, I'm here, and he has no respect. Please, no.
Yeah. And you say
Red flag. Please, I beg. Like, no, now.
So if you flip it,
Okay, so if you flip it, that's I'm higher than him, and he has no love and respect.
no, he still has love and respect for you, and he has he's everything that he's supposed to be.
You
Just
understanding now.
yes.
For you to love me, that means you understand that even that my position, this marriage, like we are one already. So there's nothing like bragging or this. So when there's understanding, I feel there was no problem. We are sharing bills, like I pay bills, you pay bills, you are doing your job as a man in the house.
Yeah.
That's all.
For me, though, I would say that if I'm going to get married to someone, I'm not particularly getting married to you based on your position at a particular company.
Exactly.
So if the things that are important to me are the things you mentioned that the man here has, which is love, respect, someone that values me. And I mean,
You've answered the question.
to answer the question, I would rather, marry someone that is here but values respect.
So here's the point I'm trying to make. I feel like most times we forget that marriage is a socioeconomic construct. And in choosing a partner, you have to think about so many things as opposed to love alone. And love alone in the way people think about it, like, the chemical aspect of it, right? Not necessarily the way that love is, right? That the way the Bible talks about love. That's not how they talk about love. They talk about it in that way. Because when we're talking about double income households and women doing certain things and not being able to do certain things because somebody is saying you need to come back home and cook my food, or somebody is saying that I came back home before you, there's no food, nobody washed plates, nobody. Now I did those because if you were with someone and it was like this, you would have issues like that because you guys understand. Do you understand? This is what we need to do, is game time.
Yeah.
We have to cook, game time.
Yeah.
We have to do the chores, game time. You have to do, like, it's not necessarily gender roles, but like partnership roles. What do we know that you're good at, what I'm good at, where I'm not great at, where I need support at? I think that's what it really should be. But a lot of women don't get that support. And that's why sometimes you see them, they don't even want you to give them, they are fine with this position. Give me secretary so I can go back home to my husband. So I can go back home to my family.
Yeah.
I have my brother-in-law, my brothers, they do school runs. There are men that don't know where their children's schools are located. It's not a bragging right, especially if you have a woman who is equally working as you. What do you think? What time does she have if she's managing the home end to end and then going home? You did not marry your mother.
Real. Not to sound somehow, but they're not really rich people problem. Because, like, for me, I stay alone and I don't really cook. I can't remember the last time I cooked, but there's always food in my house. So if you're empowered as a woman, you can fend for yourself in certain areas. You can even always have food in your house and you won't be the one cooking. So those are the things that once you, like, as a woman, to me, just be empowered. Have your own.
I hear you on being financially empowered. And that's why you have to be rugged and dogged at pursuing your ambition. You're not meant for any one role. There is no boardroom you can't walk into and be not a quota member, not the one that they say, CBN say 30% of the board must be women, let's write your name down. No. You are a board member because if you're not in that room is crumbling. You bring value into the space. So there's pressure from society that kind of forces women not to actualize. That's how I think about it. It makes them not actualize their roles. And that's, from even secondary school.
Yeah.
If you are going to be the engineer that would bring us from this ADC NEPA problem now, you did not go to school. They say you should go and do mass comm. Now you're a journalist that doesn't like her job. You're stressing people like me. Right? Do you get me? Like, there's something that I heard one time, and it's like, everybody has a vision. You have a purpose. There's something that you've been born to do in this world. Yeah. If you die, if there's an issue that we have in this world right now, it's because somebody is not fulfilling that purpose that they were put in to do, which is the point I was trying to make. So if we talk about societal pressures, me in Coconut Head is why my mother is not going to stress. I don't tell her, say, I'm not going to marry you, not stress me. Do you understand? And it's not because marriage is not a possibility for me, but it's not a destination. It's not a goal. It's nice. It's a nice to have. Again, for me, it's a socio-economic construct. It's a nice to have, but it's not my aim in life. Unfortunately, a lot of girls were taught, who will marry you? Because who will marry you was the prize on the top. That's your Prince Charming at the end of the day. It's not mine. My Prince Charming is $1 billion in my account. If my account is looking charming, everything is looking charming. Okay?
Most of our parents, and let me say some adults, their mindset is that you go to your husband's house, it's your husband that will take care of you. You don't need to stress yourself. That's what they feel. But they don't know that the world is already advancing, even digitally. Like, women have to make this money. Like, that's why most marriages are somehow breaking, because most of them are going into the marriage with mindset that it's my husband that is meant to cater for all the bills. And I'm telling you, bills, they're not small anymore. Even a crèche school fees, we shake a man and look at transport fare. How much is the salary? That's the truth. And you are there like your husband is meant to take care of all your bills. Then you go there with no job, and you're just there, and
So
there is no respect at that point again.
Are you saying personally, they're not pressuring you to get married, to be in at least a serious relationship?
Now that they're not talking about boyfriend, when you not graduate, so is your boyfriend? We're like, well, it's actually not boyfriend.
Immediate.
Immediately. I don't understand. She should be dragged mouth and street.
No. They've been thinking you've been hiding it, right? They did not tell you to talk about it then. Now you are allowed.
So first, talking about pressure, most of the parents, they want you to study medicine, so they'll call me mommy doctor. Study law, so they'll call me daddy lawyer. They feel that it's only medicine, law, and nursing that is the only paying job in Nigeria. Like, my daughter is a nurse. My daughter is a doctor, so they'll be pushing everybody. And that's why we have many people that millions keep writing jam each year, because they'll be like, no, my mommy said, I don't want, if you're not studying medicine, we don't want any other courses. And they fail to see the essence of even courses that are, let's even understand that it's not what you study you go and work with. It's like,
That's such a problem for me, right? It's, on a previous podcast I was on, I was really happy to hear that somebody has studied children and child and early education or something along that lines, and currently she's a teacher. That means that I've studied what I'm impacting into the world. I'm not saying that it's a problem if you study this and do something different. Like, life is always that way. But for the reasons that you've mentioned, you have people in the wrong professions right now who cannot advance themselves because they've tried that.
So I actually have very big goals from when I was very young. I'm also very passionate about women. My website for my fashion brand, I have a blog there where I write about women and, just women doing things. I want to create a system for more women to be included in tech. So I have a lot of big dreams regarding women, empowering women. So I get a lot of comments on my blog that, do you even hate men? So do you think that if people see this your post and they know that you hate men, one man not come up marry you so that you hate him in the house that you are living together? I hear a lot of it, and like I said, it's from people that are not close to me. People that are close. I mean, I've been in a relationship for going to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I mean, the man knows I don't hate him. How about that too?
and
He's very much aware that he's like.
Yes. I mean, and he supports it. He supports me, and I mean, that's the kind of person I want to be with.
I think an issue that boggles me is the fact that you think a woman's advancement is synonymous to hatred to a man, right? How is me wanting my life to be better immediately equal to me hating a man?
Yeah.
Wanting better for myself means that I hate a man. If you could just flip the script, does that mean you hate women? Ask yourself.
I had something from some Nigerian women. They were like, if you're as a girl, if you're rich and you have money, they will not, like, no man will come to you.
That's not
he's scared of you. And I was like,
That's not it.
That's not the man.
like, when I heard it, I was like,
This is stereotypes that have been reinforced even in the media, right? When we were watching the old Nollywood films and you see this girl that was doing everything, they will be there like, who will marry you?
Someone tell
And then, she will find one man that will want to marry her, but he's going there to steal her money. Like, there's a lot of things that have just been reinforced that your wings should be clipped. You're not
Someone
supposed
tell
to go
you
that far.
if you're not even married, you shouldn't own a car. Why are you buying a car? You shouldn't live alone. It should be from your father's house to your husband's house. Someone like me, I want to experience living alone. I'm like, let me just wake up and I know I'm being one
mentally, you rest.
But that also brings me down to, that's from your father's house to your husband's house. It poses an identity issue where women are always owned, right? You are your dad's and now you're your husband's, but you're never yours.
Yeah.
You belong to your children. You belong to everybody but yourself.
And you're mentally
You're mentally drained. You're mentally drained. And who are you, literally? How do you want to navigate the world when you don't even know who you are? This is the first time I'll say it, but I walked my posting to Cross River because I'm just like, I have family in Lagos. I have family in Abuja. I have family in
a place where
I'm the first child.
Guess what? My sister still followed me there. I say, what's all this? Somebody cannot really escape.
me. I saw something on TikTok that said every girl needs to stay alone at a point in her life.
You definitely do, because it makes you see. One of the things that I figured out now by just being by myself is what I actually like. I'm a morning person, but please don't talk to me. No, I love the mornings. I use the morning to strategize on how I want to dominate the day. Don't call me in my day. Like, by the time I'm ready to people, I'm now ready to people. When I've left the house, I like my things in a certain way. I like this thing looking in a certain way. I know my personality. right? And then I can grow into that. Now, imagine a world where you're never fully yourself. Imagine a workspace where you're not fully yourself. You're not a human being. You're always someone else's to command to do this, do that. From your dad
Following
to
suit.
your
You
mom.
should be. Exactly. Don't be following suit. And next, probably the moment you are trying to think about your life, that is like, hey, come here, come and do this. And you're
But
like,
imagine going through heartbreak and you have to turn a bar. As they cry, you go there, turn them beside the house.
Nobody ever will bango because tears.
you be crying. You cannot understand. Just leave me. Let me.
And Nigerian mothers will tell you, what happened to your eyes? Why is it red? What's your problem? What's going on? Turn them back.
And that is we still be turning the bar.
But just like speaking about all of these things, I know that there are things that just set the foundation that make it really shaky for women to be in the space. But when women are in the space, there are very few. So I'm just going to read something by a thought leader, Olajumoke Akinwumi. She says, early in my career, I often walked into rooms where I was either the only woman or not the expected decision maker, which is really close to what you had just said. And there was an unspoken assumption that I had to prove my expertise more than my male counterparts. I heard something last week. This lady said, and when I enter a room, I expect a man to be incompetent. But if I see an incompetent woman, I'm riled up. I am just looking at her like, I get that. I understand that. And not because, this is a general statement we want to make and cause issues, but because it's already skewed towards the fact that as a woman, you have to prove yourself 3 times more.
Yeah, you do.
For that same role that somebody is doing the barest minimum.
Exactly.
3 times more. So I've been in spaces where I remember one time I was trying to get a magazine out. I had a deadline and I made sure that I met the deadline and I was sending it to my boss like, And woke up, he asked me, you could have sent it this morning. Could I? But for me, it was just that I don't want a situation where it's that because she's this person, because she's a woman, then she was not able to deliver.
For me, a mentor would be someone that would probably, teach me how to be more vocal, like speak more. So I'm someone that does a lot of research, inside. I do a lot of on the laptop. I do a lot of, but publicly speaking to people, I don't really do much of that. And I feel like me wanting to, create a system where I would definitely need to reach out. I would definitely need to be out there more. I would need to be mentored on speaking to people. Sometimes, like my brand now, I have a fashion brand. There was this conference I went for, Chican, and it was filled with women. And I told myself, today 50 people must follow my business page. And I was meeting them one after the other. And that day, obviously, my confidence grew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I can be mentored to, speak more to people.
But just, you speaking about speaking more, I remember I was telling a friend recently, as much as I've always been in the media, I would always be in the light, I would always be on the back end for a lot of things, right? My opinions are not things people want to hear. It's not like they don't want to hear because it's not important. It's just not the most digestible for people. I've also been called aggressive. I've been called a lot of things. So in my mind now, if I can't add this extra layer, problem. You understand? Just calm down. Right? And even to, put myself out there, I wouldn't either because it's just like, what if they say no? What if they look at me? What if they hear this? What if they... Highest you can do is say no. Highest you can say is you'll not do it. Highest you can, highest, should I say denial from you? It's not a denial from the world. And so that's how I've been carrying, that mentality that it's not it.
Exactly.
And I'm really proud of you because, deciding to walk up to 50 people and tell them to do something that is actually going to impact your brand, that's not something a lot of people are able to do. Like now, I'm able to go into places and actively network about stuff. Like I would be at networking mixers, and I'll just be in the back end. I'll only probably talk to the person that I know because it's just like, they've already started looking at you one type of way, you and your hair, you and your dressing, blah, blah. So you don't even want to do too much. But, being surrounded.
Looking at you because you look very good.
I know. But then again, even as you're looking good, it might be offending somebody. You could be offended. No, there's a way. Like, I've gone up to people and I would tell, like, I've said this a couple of times. I find that people never speak to me the way I'm speaking to them. They're speaking to me based off of how they perceive me. or you have a bald head, or probably in an oversized blazer, and looking all dark. It's just like standard kilo day, kilo shin. What's wrong
The
with
way
you?
you talk, they see a sweet.
Yeah, but they don't see that because most people they've judged you, right?
Yeah.
They've judged you before you've even started to have that conversation. But it also, helps my advantage because when I enter that confidence level in like high strategy sessions, you will listen, my darling. It also helps that I know what I'm saying. So you will listen. But it's a lot of building my confidence to understand that I can do this, I can be here. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of women who have that opportunity or have that form of, should I say, sisterhood or bond where you're encouraging them to be better. You're encouraging them to do better. People just don't talk. Right? When you talk about, being harassed, there are people who they would not even say anything. So even more than having an ally in these places is also having people speak up more so that we know that it's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not right.
I wish I did.
Yeah?
When I was there before, like I said, I had to leave for him. I wish I actually spoke up because I would have left eventually, but at least it would be embarrassed. So, yes. So
And
if
you'd
I
have said something and that would have changed the conversation completely for somebody else. Would have been, he tried it in one you cop out, she gave him. So that one will not hear it, will not say, I'm gonna give him two as well. But like
even if it does it again, so it will not be really unbelievable.
Yeah. Because shame lives in the secrets. Right? Shame lives in the secret. If you're not able to say, hey, this happened to me, I wasn't really happy with that, XYZ, then it will just keep on happening. What we give permission to would continue, it will thrive. Unless we're saying, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. And I think when we think about women owning up to things and being in the corporate space, something that also comes to mind is the fact that it doesn't remove. I think you need to do it wisely. So what needs to change, especially in the work system, for women to blossom into who they really are?
Okay, so first I'll say leadership should not be gender-based. It should be based on competence. And women should be given, I think, a preferential treatment concerning maternity leaves, period leaves. We really need a lot of this because I'm working at home, I'm nursing a child, and at the same time, I'm giving my all at work, and you're still paying me less. Leadership should be, okay, if, I know that there's always tenure, so if a man is leading now, after maybe, let's say 4 years, the next one should be a woman. It must be written down, like the government should put it down. Okay, and again, there should be probably care for nursing mothers. There should just be preferential treatment for women because we are doing a lot, even mentally, putting all our energy in the company and still going back home, another company. Government really, if governments can enforce it, I'm not sure any company
enforcing it would have been the right thing because concerning breastfeeding, especially in terms of maternity leaves, there are things that have been stipulated. But what happens now with companies is that they just pass you. Right? I have a family friend who has told me that she didn't get promoted for how many years because her line manager thought she was, always pregnant. Kept on passing her up for promotions. So it's not like there's no rule, right? Or there's no there's no law that's supposed to support women. It's not just being enforced. It's not just being enforced. So there's more about those things being enforced because it will give, especially when you think about nursing mothers, how is she supposed to navigate a workspace when she's now a new mom? It's crazy. It's crazy. She's dealing with a different body. When you're a mother, your legs have grown longer. Some people now have high blood pressure, things that you did not know. There's 100 things that have happened to your body from 9 months before, right? But I hear you, and I really love that. Especially with the leadership tenure, I feel like it needs to be balanced as well. But for us to get to leadership tenure first, the leaders, they need to first enter that leadership role. You understand? They're not already there as it stands. Again, I think what we're fighting for is gender equity, not equality.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, one thing that I would say should change and should be more common in companies should be that promotion should be based on, your competence and not there's some companies that for somebody to be promoted, they have to vote, things like that. And I feel like that should be totally scrapped. So for example, where I used to work before, that was what they were doing. But where I work now,
they will vote.
Yes, they will vote though.
So if I rally now, politics, I can get promoted even if I'm not
most of the people voting are men that are higher than you. So if they don't want you there, you cannot get there.
Yeah.
Well, where I work now, when a financial year starts, you set your CSC It's something called, I don't know, Sha, but you shall set it and you work towards it for that year. So if you meet it, you would automatically get promoted. So that is not in the hands of anyone. So I feel like that's one of the first things. The second thing I would say is that every workplace should have a policy for sexual harassment and it should be enforced. Not just a policy that is just written down. So I've seen a lot of companies and their policies, and I don't really see one that is tailored to being harassed in the workspace, because it's not something that I think is important to them. But I feel like it should be enforced that every single company should have a policy for sexual harassment that must be followed. So yeah, those are the two things that I think.
Those are actually really, really, really brilliant ideas. And if we speak about enforcing them, it means that it's beyond the companies, but also like the government has a role to play in ensuring that companies are able to do so. Like, in recent years, we've heard more news platforms talk about sexual harassment by top CEOs in the news, in the media. But what happens is that it dies down. I mean, you've not been arrested, none of those things. So, it's swept under the rug, and everybody, goes back. Next 5 years, this person is back in leadership, or this person now owns a new business or something new, something fresh like that. I think you have really great ideas. I would say there was something that I want for the workforce to be better is inclusivity is not just a buzzword, right? It's fine to say, oh, we're very inclusive, but it should be down to every system that, has been created within your workspace. Do you have a room for nurse-feeding mothers, right? Are you able to give them at least a year of maternal leave so that they're able to come back there? Gender equity looks different in the workspace in the sense that you're not just necessarily going to pass over someone for promotion because she's married and there's chances of her getting pregnant, right? You're also able to support each and everyone, and in the uniqueness of their roles, this person has this role today, this person has this role tomorrow. It's not based off if this is a gender thing. He doesn't have to be the head of engineering because he's a man. No, let's give the work to who it's due. Inclusivity goes beyond just, what we're speaking about, but also having people in the board, right, that are leaders, that are women, because that changes a lot of, the policies that would affect people in the workspace. And this is beyond the workspace. This is even just to the government as well. Have women in places where they can speak up for other women, because right now it's just a boys club telling people what to do, and nothing about this gender. Nothing about the way our bodies work, the way our lives work. Nothing. There is no empathy in this space, and if there is empathy, you probably understand why you need to make certain policies. Right now, just like, but my mother did it. Sir. No, there's
My mother was working, but she was taking care of all of us, cooking everything.
exactly, and your mother was very unhappy, darling.
Telling you,
No,
she
she was.
She was crying.
She wasn't happy. She was crying herself to sleep. That idea of a strong woman, dead it. Bruh, dead it. We don't need that anymore, right? So we need more people in these places that empathize with us, because you understand what it is. Do you understand? To be a woman, give me period leaves, my darling. What I don't want to hear in the words is, maybe it's that time of the month. I would deck you. No, because sometimes when you're not going to have anything from somebody, they refer to that. It's those microaggressions that make you feel small.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So inclusion in every way, even down to the language of how we speak to women in the workspace, the sort of things that we can say to one another. That's what I would say. But we'll wrap up now, right? We'll wrap up now. And I want us to have a conversation about, before TWSS, what's one thing like, you didn't believe about yourself? That you're like, oh, rah, this is me. Okay, cool, not bad. And what's if you could write a letter, just like one sentence to your future self, what would it be?
Okay, so one thing that I never believed was my voice. I have the passion. I know I talk a lot, but my talking.
We don't talk a lot, my darling. don't. Let's say you just talk. There's nothing like talk a lot. Have you heard some cho people? You've not.
So like I talk, but then I was not like, okay, maybe I did not see it as a gift or a talent. But when I got here and the compliment I've been receiving, somebody even told me that, please, can you be a therapist? Like, I should make sure I work into being a therapist, because the way I speak, and I just like, I'm always talking in every conversations we're having, and it's actually changed another message. That's why I can speak. So I can speak in the midst of
your
people.
voice is important.
Exactly. Like the comment I was not getting that, please, we love it. And I was doing voiceovers for each day vlogs, and everybody would keep commenting that, the way you speak is on another level. Your voiceovers are this, and I'll be like, so I have all these things, and I'm just
Very nice.
there's no
The
there's
voice
no
of us.
I'll be like, so there's nothing to push me. So a letter to my future self. Another great girl is imagine like what I'm bringing. My future
You're not
better
ready.
be ready to hold it.
Bye.
Me? Okay, before I got here, one thing I did not know is that there are a lot of like-minded women just like me. So I met a lot of women that, think like me, even think way farther than I do. And it was really nice seeing that, feeling at home. Nobody was telling me, no one is going to marry you because of the baby. That kind. It felt like, people actually think the way that I do, and it was very nice. So if I could say something to my future self, I would say that, girl, you're going to, do so many good things. You're going to create a system that would be known all over the world. There would be more women in technology, killing it, and it's no longer going to be referred to as a male-dominated space. It's not going to be, in fact, it can even be referred to as female-dominated space.
I like that radical thinking. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, boys and girls. From myself, one of the things that I didn't know before coming into this community was how privileged I am my coconut head were. I like to say my coconut head is just very. But I didn't know how privileged I was to have the sort of mindset and sort of upbringing that I had. And then coming here and seeing women who did it in spite of is so inspiring. It's like that's where you're coming from and this is who you are, girl, you deserve your flowers and more. And it just made me know that you can always take up space, no matter what your story is, no matter what the background is, you can always take up space. A letter to my future self is going to be, you did it, girl, you did it. Okay, thank you, my darling people. Thank you, my lovely ladies. Oh, what such an exciting conversation. I didn't want it to end. But, we have to go because they're about to push us and say, leave this person. Go home. Go. But this is what we've been talking about on That's What She Said, glass ceilings and boardroom battles. And it's not been your typical sort of conversation because those glass ceilings have only been reinforced by society. Those boardroom battles are battles that we're even fighting in our homes. And we all can make a difference. You can make a difference. Be that person that stands up for that woman tomorrow in the office space or in any social space where you see someone is trying to just, silence her. That's your job. Be an ally. And
That's what she said. That's what she said.